Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tasty Trails Travel Pod. Today's episode is packed with flavor, heart, and some seriously inspiring stories. I'm joined by Omar, a home cook from Zanzibar, Tanzania, now living in Buenos Aires, where he runs a popular Swahili restaurant that feels like stepping into somebody's home on Zanzibar. Omar's cooking is deeply rooted in tradition, memory, and community, blending the influences that Arab, Indian, and colonial cuisines have had on East African food and creating soul-warming stews, curries, and snacks. We talk about ugali, mango soup, and the power of food as a cultural bridge, especially in a place where African cuisine is still relatively unknown. This episode touches on everything from colonial culinary legacies and cassava leaves to cooking with coconut and connecting with strangers over shared meals. You'll also hear how Omar uses his restaurant not just to serve food, but to tell the story of the region and challenge some of the narratives that people may have about Africa. Don't forget, you can also watch the full conversation on YouTube, where you'll also find other videos. I'm starting to gear back up the YouTube channel again, so there's going to be video podcasts, of course, but also vlogs and a whole other series, everything relating to food and travel. So make sure to head to Tasty Trails Travel on YouTube and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. All right, let's go. Hey, Omar, welcome to the podcast.
All right, thank you. I'm here.
Can you tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're from?
My name is Omar. I'm from Tanzania, Zanzibar Island. I'm here in Argentina about 11 years. I came here in 2014, so 11 years ago. So now I'm in Buenos Aires doing African gastronomy. You know, Buenos Aires has got very few African gastronomy. So myself, once I came here, I saw the city, Buenos Aires has got a lot of food variety of all countries. Then I say, why not myself? That's why I decided to put mine, Swahili food. So in Barrio Palermo, we call it, I have that African food restaurant whereby people that are coming here to eat. Also, I use that time to talk and to explain a little bit about part of Africa, especially for the Latin American people, they didn't know in deeply.
Yeah, and as somebody who has personally been to the restaurant, it is so good and so delicious. So yeah, thank you for bringing that to everybody here because yeah, it's just delightful. How did you get into cooking? Like, where does your love of the food come from?
In our country, the cooking is like a daily task, you know, the helping family. So I used to take that homework in my home, then I become like a cooker by nature. You know, you participate that activity daily. So once when I came here, you know, I came here through fall in love with Argentina woman who has been in Zanzibar for traveling. So when I came here, I used to upload my receipt, my daily receipt. In you know, the Argentina like to join together on Sunday. They call it Sunday family meeting. So when the family are there, they like cooking, talking. So myself also, I used to put my recipe over there. Then I join them my food. Then they all used to like it. They say, Omar, you can start something and you can work. We see our taste is nice. We see the thing is different. So from that, the idea has been created to make this small gastronomy I do. So for the beginning, I didn't want to make like a restaurant, like a commercial. I want to make it in my home, it's like a home office cooking. When the people are coming, like they visit me in my home. Once people that are visiting me, they eat. Then I have that little time to join them during their eating, talking to them what food to treat, because according to our food in our daily life in Africa. So for me, the food is like a bridge. People are coming to eat, but myself, I get that little time to express what is going on about food in our daily culture life in Africa. So from that time, that project started, and now it's working well because people they like it and something different.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you today, pretty specifically about that, because the food you do is Tanzanian, but it's also kind of East African Swahili food and culture, which spans, you know, more than just Tanzania. So can you talk a little bit about that? Kind of what are some of the cultural things that bring it all together in that region, and like what countries does it encompass?
Yeah, Swahili is like all about East African coast. I think we start from part of Kenya, coast of Tanzania, Zanzibar, in the north part of Mozambique. This food is very popular. You go in that zone. Then all in East Africa, when you go to Uganda, when you go to Rwanda and Burundi, and the border country like Zambia, Malawi, in the borders, this food are very same, are very popular. That zone was influenced of the other culture. That's why I make this food very rich. In East Africa, for example, when you go to Zanzibar, the place I'm from, you find this food has got the local recipe. The food we are depending on the season. When you find the season of maize, season of cassava, season of sweet potato, then the way we cook it has got an influence like Arabs, like Indians, and some foreign word like English and colonial. East Africa was English colonial. So once we have all of that influence, that make that food very rich. So it's not all about Tanzania and Zanzibar. Swahili food is all about East Africa. When you go to Uganda, when you go to Kenya, when you go to Rwanda, Burundi, the thing are the same. This kind of street food you can find people are selling in it, buying the street. The same recipe we use it when we cook in our home. So it's all about the region. It's not all about Tanzania. The food is like all the same. Maybe you can find something different of the recipe or the way of preparation. You can go maybe in Kenya, you can find someone start to put this, but in Tanzania, someone to start this, at the end finishing on this. This food is very rich in our zone because we use a lot of curry, we call it curries, and there's influence of India. East Africa was colonized by English colony, and they brought a lot of Indian people from India, where they were the people who worked during colony of British. So the rich stuff of recipe who the Indian people, because the curry is origin of the India, who bring that recipe is not the same like the Indian, but we invent it in our recipe. So the difference is not the really like curry or masala from India. It's origin from our zone because we make it from what we have. Then we use a lot of coconut milk. We say that cream, it gives the cream in the food. So the food is about when you go to Kenya, when you go to Tanzania, you go north of Mozambique, when you go to Uganda, like all are the same, the same recipe. The Swahili coast or the Swahili region is all about that. The influence of a lot of Bantu people, whereby is our tribes, which has been mixed with the Indian and Arabs, with a little bit culture of Occidental, whereby it was British colony.
So it's like, yeah, it's been a fusion of all these different influences that you've had and then kind of put together to make it your own, using the local ingredients and all that stuff. Yeah, that's super, super beautiful. So what are some of your favorite dishes to make, to share with people, or what are some like really popular kind of dishes of the region?
All over East Africa zone we eat ugali, because you see that is the stiff porridge. In all zone, that is like our main course. When you go to Tanzania, go to Kenya, go to Uganda, we call it ugali. It's a white corn. Once we cook it with boiled water, so it's very popular. It's very famous when you go everywhere else. The thing which is very important in that, the sauce which is going to accompany the ugali, because the ugali is like a puree of maize, so always need some sauce around to accompany it, whereby you can find some beans or beef stew or chicken stew and some spinach. In Tanzania, we call sauce which accompany to the ugali. For the family who are a little bit better, a little bit nice economic, they call it mboga saba. It's like you have to have 7 accompaniment which are eating together with it. But depending family in family. For example, my family we have 3 or 4, but the people who like to have it in a nice way, they need 7 sauce go together. Because the ugali, when you eat,
oh wow,
you need to mix with something in order to eat it together. If you eat like alone, the taste is like you are having a puree of maize. So it needs some sauce together. When you eat together, that makes it delicious. So that is a popular food you go in everywhere. I think it is like a popular in Africa. There are some West African, they use cassava flour, but in East Africa is white maize, which is very popular everywhere, every family. When you go there as a visitor, when you go there as a family, lunch, dinner, that is our popular plate.
And so what do you use? You said your family does like 3 or 4 accompaniments with it?
Yeah, normally fish, because we are from the coast of East African Indian Ocean. Most of the time fish and beans. We have beans Then spinach. We used to eat a lot of vegetables like spinach or cassava leaves. Here I find some cassava, for example, here in Argentina, they cultivate cassava in north, in Misiones. I go there and ask some people to bring me that cassava leaves, but it's not normal to eat here. Or sometimes we eat or the pumpkin leaves, we make like a vegetable, or the sweet potato
Oh.
leaves. So it depends what kind of vegetable you find of that day. Because of the cost, most of the time we have fish sauce, like a fish stew, a little bit of beans stew, and any kind of leaves. Any leaves like a spinach or cassava leaves or pumpkin, that makes delicious when you eat together. So my family, that was very normal. But when you go to other family who they like 7 of that, that means they are very good economics. They can make a little bit salad. They make a little bit of how they call it palta. Yeah,
Avocado?
avocado. They mix with some in Kenya. They no pop Kenya. The Kenyans are much better economic. They call it nyama choma. It's like a little bit grill. You find some little bit meat together. So the ugali needs that accompaniment. That is very nice because the ugali always need that kind of accompaniment, the Guanutian sauce, which give it much rich taste. You take a part of ugali, then you join together with some of sauce, then you eat it.
Yum.
When I make my ugali, normally I have three guarnition, which is a selga, a little bit of meat. Sometimes I make beef balls, or I make chicken stew, or sometimes I make fish fillet stew and a little bit of beans. So normally I make that guarnition here because I tell people ugali has to have all guarnition together in order to get the taste.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some other dishes that are really popular?
Oh, the crazy dish
the
here,
region?
everybody when they came here, you say, what is this? In Zanzibar, we have, we call it urojo, the green mango soup. And a little bit difference here in Argentina, people, they have like a season food. When it's hot, they are not drinking soup. When it's cold, they're starting to take soup. But we eat what we have. It not depend on the season. We eat what we have. So I remember here it was in pure November, in December, in January, which is too hot. When people are coming here, say, people, you came here to eat my food. Yeah? Today you will have a mango soup. Everyone look themselves, oh, with this hot, we're going to have soup. I say, yeah, you have soup because that is what we eat. So his mango soup is is a green mango, which is not ripe one. When the mango is well ripe, is sweet, but the green mango is like sour. The green mango soup dish is very sour because it's mixed with lemon. Everybody wait to say, oh, what? Also it's hot. Someone is like, oh, today I'm going to die with this. Let me see. But everyone, when tasting, will say, wow, Omar, I have not even imagined I will have today having soup. Then it's green mango soup, but I like it. So it's like, wow, I feel like Zanzibar stuff is working here. It's very popular in Zanzibar. You go everywhere, every street, you find that the soup are selling, the people they are drinking, they don't care about hot. We just drink it with the hot. Someone is sweating, is still having it. So when I introduced that soup here at the beginning, it was like, even myself, I was worried, especially in the time of the weather of these people. They like to eat things of the seasonal, but everybody like it. And what happening the last weekend? Someone told me, Omari, I don't like soup. I've never had a soup. Then when you guys, you say the mango soup, I say, oh, and then it's a sour soup, I can drink it. But Omari, I had it, but I like it. It's very fantastic. I didn't even imagine I can have that soup. Yeah, it's a sour soup which needs something to drink together. Where normally here when I cook with, I put together with a little of boiled potatoes and a little bit of vegetables. When you eat it, at least you have to drink together with some stuff. You eat it together, so you reduce that little bit of sour. It's very popular there in our zone. We eat some green mango sometimes with salt. Sometimes we put a little bit of picante of.
Yeah, they do that in Thailand too.
Yeah,
The mango
so
sticks.
there are some snacks which I used to cook it here. It makes me remind my moment when I was a little bit kid. My mother was a teacher, was a primary school teacher, and I think in the whole world, the teacher are not earning well salary. And the kids when are going to the school, especially in my zone in Tanzania, They don't have like sweets to eat over there or some biscuit. So there are different people who are making a little bit snacks in the school area, and kids are going there and buying it. So there are some dishes I remember that moment. My mother, when her salary was not enough, she used to make a little bit business like that fries food. I remember it was like our daily task to help her. So that kind of thing, I used to do it. I've never stopped to do it. At the beginning, when I told her, Mom, I do that snacks you used to do over there at the time. She said, Are you sure you're doing this? Make sure you do it correctly, because you remember all the recipes I used to do and you participated with me. I say, okay, I'll try my best. And yet, it's one of my things I make to remember every day that time when I was 11, 12, 13, and 14, the moment I used to study in primary school. It was my mom's small business, which used to her to earn some little bit coins because it's helping her to have more money. So most of the food I used to do is like making me to remember that things like that one. My mom also used to make boiled cassava, and I remember she put the curcuma, cooking it together, and the kids are going here buying it. So it was a small business my mom used to do. Today I feel I make it here because I'm not a chef. I was born in participating that kind of small jobs, which today I make it like my making to live with that. It was like something make me to remember the moment when I used to live with my family. So that kind of the food are always
That's
present here.
Yeah, I think that's nice. And I think that's something beautiful about food is it can take you back in time, just like the smells and the actions of kind of making it and doing it. So I think that's really nice that you maintain that connection to your past and to your country. And I also think it's just like so cool to be sharing it with people who aren't familiar with it, because that's like super cool to introduce flavors and things that people didn't think that they were going to like, and then they ended up loving it.
Yeah.
That's like really amazing. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
What about like street food?
Most of the street food in our zone is like that. When you go in our zone, you find a little bit, a lot of street vendors are selling over there. A lot of fries. For example, in my zone, we use coconut oil. We process it ourselves. Then you find a little bit, a lot of street vendors, especially in the evening. Sometimes in morning, but in the evening a lot because people are getting out from job or having a dinner. So over here, the kind of street food I have, like a fried cassava, samosa. Also we have samosa, which is an influence from India. Samosa is very popular in all Asian world, but we find it from Indian migrants who came in our zone. You find it a lot in our zone, everywhere, in morning and evening and during the day. It's like a very popular snacks. Everyone can go and buy it, but it's true. The samosa is coming from Indian influence in our zone. Then, we drink a lot of soup as a street food, but people here, they don't like a lot
Oh,
of like
interesting.
a whole fish soup. Over there, we have a lot of whole fish. When I came here, I found, for example, that when I make a soup, sometimes I make a fish soup here, but it has to be a fillet. It's just because of my neighbors or my woman family who I used to work here. I say, Omar, here they don't like to have a whole fish because they say they see the fish with their eyes. We don't like to see fish when looking at us. So most of the soup I make here is like fillets, only fillets. You have to live with the local people who like sometime in order to get everything in order. So we drink a lot of soup. If it's a fish soup, or you go over there, you can find a fish soup everywhere. We use a lot of lemon juice in every condimenting. You prepare something, you put lemon. Sometimes when I prepare my food, I put lemon. They ask me, "You put lemon in it?" I say, "Yeah, lemon it must be because it's giving a taste." Because most of the time we use ginger and garlic. So once when you have that mix, you must put a lemon at the end because it's apporting some taste. So that is very popular thing in our street food. Then the salad. Salad, well, is coming moment of British colony in our zone. My family, most of the time I used to see, or even myself, we used to eat vegetable like pepino, put a little salt, you eat it. Or the carrot, we eat it direct with salt. So once in our zone, when English came, they call it salad, they mix it, maybe they put some olive oil, something like that. The young generation who now we live in the town, then we find it is like a new style of preparation. Yeah, we make it as a salad. But when you go in a village, most of my family, they eat it directly, like without mixing it as a salad. So the salad is like a new invent in terms of the colony of British.
So before people were eating just straight cucumbers or just straight carrots or avocados, and now they're mixing it all together to make a salad.
Yeah. That's like a new style after coming of the British for the new generation who are starting to live modern life. So we make it a mixing the salad. But when you go to the village, you find people that are eating it direct like fresh vegetables.
Oh, interesting.
The craziest few things in my food, we don't have sweets. People when they are coming here are telling them the truth. Eating for us is like 20 to 25 minutes. And you know, when I start to introduce this experience here, I think at the beginning I say we are going to eat as we eat, sitting down at the mat, and we will eat by hand. I start to practice the first day of this experience. I remember very well the first invited when they came, we have a down mat, and I prepare my water, we wash the hand, and we sit, we eat. I think we did it for 4 days because it's not a practice in this Occidental world, especially Argentinian people. So the first day I saw people, they suffering because, you know, here eating is going out, they eat for 2 hours. So it's not easy for someone who's not, normal for the Western world, sitting down for 1.5 hour. It was like, oh, Omar, what we are doing today? I think it's good logic. The food is nice, but Omar, 1.5 hour, you know, for us, food is a part of outing. It's not like you guys, you just go 30 minutes, you go, then you wake up. So the first day, I feel like maybe I will try for the second day. The second day, it was the same. The third day, it was the same. Then I talk with my team here, say, these people, they suffer. I think it's okay, the idea of food. Let's bring back to the table and chair, eating with their hand, because this is not like, it's not really their style. So then we back now, when you came here, you find we sit on the chair and we eat on the table. And of course, I bring back the knife and forks. With that, in our world, is not exist, Odabia. You go in my village, you can find forks, you can find knife. When I go there, I explain to the people, you know, in the Western world, people, they're eating with a knife and fork. They say, how hell of this? I say, yeah, that is our culture. The knife is for cutting, the fork for eating. Then they feel like, what? Then what next? When they finish, they throw it away. I say, no, they're not throwing it away. They're just washing it in a standard way. They have a way of manipulating it with a soap and all that. Then they use it in another day. So it's like a new things when I explain my people how people here they eat with that kind of stuff. So at the beginning it was like that, but it didn't work for sure.
Oh, wow.
It didn't work for sure because it was like something new to these people. They watch themselves and like, oh. And the young people sometimes they came here with the energy. They say, yes, we can eat. Let's try it. But no, it's not normal for the Western world. I think the Africans, the Asian, the Arabs, the Indian is a practice sitting, sleeping at the floor. But this world is not easy. Then you know this food for me is like I told you, it's like a bridge. The news about Africa are very few. The people all talk about Africa, the war, the dictators, hunger, the sickness. I say, people, exist all of that, what you're talking about. But also the place when you can go there, you can find nice destiny, nice place for tourism, you can have a good food, good people. So it's like all world, the positive and negative. So the thing I find is like to use my food is like a way of to explain the positive things maybe people they don't know or they know little. When we talk about Tanzania, we talk about Zanzibar. When we talk about Kenya, when we talk Uganda, or East Africa in general, Tanzania, the land of Kilimanjaro, the land of Serengeti, the island of Zanzibar, the island whereby Freddie Mercury was born. When we talk about Kenya, it's a very beautiful country. When you go there, you can say, wow, this is Africa. It's like Western of West Africa. When you go to Uganda, you find everything there. You say, wow. So I use the food now when I get that time here to explain people through my food. When someone asks me, how do your food make this bridge? I say, because if people they are coming here to eat, but at least I get that time to explain the people in deeply, especially for the part of positive how Africa is. And maybe someone can see over there people of the tribe, they're eating different food, the exchange food, but that is everywhere. That is everywhere. There's good and bad. So myself, I use my place, at least the food, in the place of to explain much on details about how's Africa in general. Of course, I agree there are other things, but there is also positive exist. Someone can go there, can feel like, wow, I've never think in Africa I can find it. So for me, the food is my place, or my food in general has given me that opportunity whereby in the moment I express most of the thing through my food.
Yeah, I love that so much because I mean, and I do think that happens, unfortunately, a lot of places where people, when they think of Africa, they kind of think of the negative things that they hear. And like you're saying, it's a place like everywhere else. There are, of course, those things, but there's also really incredible things as well. And so I think it's amazing that you are sharing your culture and your knowledge and your food and flavors and everything with people and communities who are curious and open and excited and willing to try it and learn about it. And so, yeah, I think it's awesome.
No, most of the people are the same. I have the lucky of to travel every year as much as I can. Depend of the situation of economy. For example, as I told you, next week I'm traveling. So it's like once when I go there, I find a lot of things. So I bring with me a lot of stock, like in real stock. So with that, I'm fine. Most of the recipe I bring it from there. But here I can find a lot of things. Now, Argentina is like is a country of a lot of migrant. When I came here in 2014, the stuff I find now is not the same as like I found it before. When I came here, I came with my white maize that I told you, the white maize flour. When I finished it, finished. But now Argentina's more migrant came from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Bolivia and Peru. And that is the thing which make me a little bit like, wow, it exists, everything is here. Because when I came here, it was not easy to find the thing like the green banana, the cassava. But now every day when I stay here, because of a lot of migrants also came here, I find everything. That's why I say, wow. That is the thing also I get to understand if in Latin America has got a little bit influence of Africa. The country like Brazil, the country like Colombia, like Venezuela, there is some part of African influence because of the moment of colonial. That kind of people who are,
Yeah,
when they are coming here, especially that kind of Latin America who has got your colonial from Africa. Sometimes they never even don't understand. They say, this is the food you are eating in Africa. It's like ours. I say that the same. And even myself, I get to understand here. When I live here, if in Latin America exists also some African influence because of the slave who came from moment of colonial this zone. So the stuff like cassava, like beans, now I find all here in that kind of like a regional, the regional recipe here. There's some food that are coming from province. The thing like mani, how do they call mani?
peanuts.
Peanuts, yeah. So it's like all of this now I find here. I find it here. And that is the lucky of Argentina. Argentina is a country of a lot of migrants from the moment of a lot of Europeans. And now there is a coming of a lot of Latin American countries. And now like African, we are coming this time. But yeah, I find it all because of the country of a lot of migrants. I like here. So it's like a lot of receipts you can find it. The things maybe a little bit different here are spices. So that's why when I go to Zanzibar, Zanzibar is an island of spice, we call in East Africa. I go there and I bring a lot of spices like curries and masala and some like cloves and nutmeg, bay leaf. I bring it from Zanzibar.
Yeah, that's amazing. And do you have any recommendations for people going to Zanzibar for travel? Like, it doesn't have to be food related, but do you have any travel tips for people that maybe you couldn't find on the internet? So like special local travel tips?
Yeah. My suggestion for someone who want to go to Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a place to relax. I used to work in a hotel in Zanzibar, and I met a lot of tourists attending for chilling and relaxing. So Zanzibar is a nice place to go when after safari. When you go to safari in Uganda, when you go to safari in Kenya, or you go to safari in Tanzania. Once when you finish that route, that's the perfect moment to go and relaxing in Zanzibar Island because after safari, little bit tired. Safari, the movement at that time you are in jeep moving in the park, so you need a relaxing time at least to take your sea breeze in Zanzibar Island. So for me, Zanzibar needs that. Take your time to safari 1 week on 10 days. Then Zanzibar needs 4 days or 1 week, relaxing, taking of Indian Ocean breeze, going a little bit of swim. Indian Ocean in Zanzibar is like that. You go there to spice tour. It's like a spice island. You must make a little bit of spice tour. There's a one safari they call Safari Blue. Safari Blue is like you take it all day moving in the island ocean, go there and little bit safari, but in the ocean. Over there, you will eat a lot of seafoods, and it's one of the best recommendation anyone can go to. Not only chilling and relaxing, take time to make a spice tour and Safari Blue. And we have the Stone Town. Stone Town is a very rich place, the place where the Freddie Mercury was born. As I told you, we have an Indian influence. Freddie Mercury, the famous, was born in Zanzibar. Then he go to England, get a popular queen, but the Freddie was born there. So you go to Stone Town to find the little bit of history of Freddie, the place he has born, and something like that. That's what Zanzibar offered. But for me, the nice recommendation in Zanzibar is after safari.
And there's good diving too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Diving, snorkeling. Yeah. It's a lovely place. As you know, all of the places about Indian Ocean are always fantastic.
Well, Omar, thank you so much. I know it's really late for you, so I appreciate you taking the time. There's one last question that I like to ask everybody that comes on, and that is, what would your last meal be?
I like fish. I like whole fish, whole fried fish.
Nice. And with an accompaniment, with anything to go with it?
Accompaniment with salad, that must be. We have our local kachumbari salad. So for me, the lovely fried fish, accompanied with ugali. The ugali has to be around. Little bit of kachumbari and a little bit of beans. So it's like all meal or all plate around. I have it. I say, oh, thanks for the life. I'm going the way.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And then, okay, great. Can you tell people how to connect with you, how to come find your food if they're in Buenos Aires or when they come to Buenos Aires? Like, how can people get in touch with you?
We have WhatsApp, but in our day, most of the people, they find me in Google. The way even sometimes I don't understand. My place is not in the street. It's a home restaurant. How do you find it? Say, Omar, I don't know what's happening to me. I put myself in Google. I say today, I want to go to have African food and appear in your place. So Googling, everything you find there, but also in social media, you find it in Instagram, Africa Sana.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Have a safe trip back.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure learning so much, and eating your delicious food was just so lovely, and I can't wait to go back. So thank you.
Thanks very much. It was a pleasure to talk with you a bit, and I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
A huge thank you to Omar for sharing his warmth, his stories, and his cooking with us today. His homey restaurant is more than just a place to eat. It's a living space for culture, connection, and conversation, especially in a city where African voices and flavors are still underrepresented. If you're in Buenos Aires or planning to visit, do yourself a favor and look up Omar's Swahili food, Africa Sana. It's more than just food, it's a whole experience. And if this episode made you hungry or think differently about food, migration, or culture, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who loves discovering the world through food. Until next week, bye. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter for exclusive travel tips, recipes, and insider info on all the destinations that we cover. Sign up using the link in the show notes or on the website to keep exploring the world together. See you next time. Bye.